Hello, Internet. I'm here to talk about this. Ooh. Sorry, anyway, I'm here to talk about this. This is an Insignia multifunction Bluetooth stereo boombox, CD player, AM, FM, headphone jack, Bluetooth, and hidden in here, cassette. It does play cassettes. So if you want a cassette player that is portable, boombox, ghetto blaster, whatever you want to call it, then you are not limited to that Sony CFD S70 or whatever and the Tecmone special here, the Panasonic RXD55 for $170. You may also get this Insignia. The benefit of getting an Insignia over, some of the Ruvdio or whatever the hell the weird Chinese companies are calling their things now is Insignia has to meet a minimum quality level standard. And let's be clear, that standard is low. This is an Insignia. That's a Best Buy house brand. But if Best Buy wants to make sure that people aren't returning their boomboxes all the time, they have to make sure that they're, not truly abysmal. And I would describe this as not truly abysmal. So there's your CD player. And those of you who are perhaps the same age as me will remember that you could judge a cassette player based on how slow the door opened. Wow, this is a primo model, eh? So let's play a cassette. Here is Funk 49 by the James Gang. I don't monetize anything, so I have no worries. Like a standard boombox, you put the tape in backwards, upside down. There are springs here in the door. That's kind of weird. And you always get a little bit of resistance when you put it in. So you have to press the power button. As you can see, I was using Bluetooth. You know what? Let me just show you what it sounds like with Bluetooth. But I'll also rewind the tape. The tape is now rewound. You maybe can hear the difference. It doesn't auto-stop. Not while rewinding and fast-forwarding. And to me, that's obnoxious. I absolutely hate that. It's just sitting there torquing on it. But you know what? Neither does the Sony. The Panasonic does, but it costs over $100 more. All right, so let's play Funk 49 on Bluetooth. Check this out. Oh yes, Bluetooth player controls on the machine. It's actually very convenient. Okay, so let's move off Bluetooth. There's a CD mode. I don't have my Joe Walsh CD here with me, though I have tested it. It sounds very similar to Bluetooth. I'll put one in a moment. And let's listen to the cassette. You can already hear the hiss. Whew. And now it just stopped being on leader. Now it's on magnet tape. Oh, I put Alice Cooper. Why isn't it by James tape? Oops. This happens. That's okay. You can hear here that there's heavy distortion that you didn't hear using Bluetooth. And you can also hear it's muddy. Now, I have a hypothesis that this thing was tuned for Dolby B pre-recorded cassettes. And this actually, the Alice Cooper tape doesn't have Dolby. It's crazy that a pre-recorded cassette doesn't have Dolby on it. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't. It really doesn't. The latest time here, the last date is 74. So this is a very old cassette. Maybe that's it. But here, I've got the same record here on CD, the exact same thing. So let's play I'm 18 again. Here's play. you can hear there that on CD, it's a lot clearer, as you'd expect from a CD, but it is a lot clearer. It was very muddy on tape, and there was much less distortion with the speakers. On a CD, this sounds almost not bad. I would say maybe 4 out of 10. On tape, it's maybe 2 out of 10. Not unlistenable. Certainly not good, but not unlistenable at high volumes. At mid volumes, I'd put it maybe 3. It is a little bit muddy. Oh, I'm accidentally fast-forwarding. Sorry, I put the James Gang tape in that I wanted you to hear because it's got Funk 49 is a very noticeable stereo soundstage that I'm18 doesn't have. It is stereo, you can hear it, but you gotta know the song pretty well. This is very obvious. It's one of those that's strong to the left and right. It takes 6 D cells. So that's not as many as some of these things. I remember one that I had when I was a kid took 8. The battery life is not stated in the manual. It does do AM and FM and Bluetooth, and it has auxiliary input. And again, you saw there, it doesn't auto stop when rewinding or fast forwarding. So here we go, Funk 49. You can hear the hiss on this one too. But this is Dolby B, so it should sound a little bit brighter, even though it's still a Type 1. Good stereo separation for a device of this size. All day, all night, I know where you're going. I don't think that's acting right. You don't think it's That's not bad. The whip antenna isn't particularly ideal. I don't really know who they thought the market was for this. Possibly someone who's basically just using it for Bluetooth but wants to have the ability to play other things if necessary. But it's not really good at anything. If it was good at something, it would be probably the Bluetooth functionality. And with that in mind, it is better than the competitors. If you're a modern person who has most of your music on your phone or some device with Bluetooth, this is it. This is your only reputable brand cassette CD boombox with Bluetooth, as far as I know. I could be wrong, but I really think it is. All of the other ones are just like there is no store that has to handle them. They're frequently found on Amazon, but they're typically sold by those companies on Amazon, not Amazon.com. There's no like real, what's the word? They don't have to be responsible. Their stuff can suck, and that's all it has to do. It just has to be technically functional. But this doesn't suck. It's close to sucking. So if it were me, and I had $50 or $60, I would absolutely get this over the Sony, because this, if you press play and let it go, and you go get distracted and do something else, this will auto stop. The Sony will not auto stop if you're just playing. This won't auto stop on rewind or fast forward, neither will the Sony, but it does when you're playing. Is the sound quality better on this or the Sony? Sony sounds better. Slightly. It still doesn't sound good. This has a little bit more bass than the Sony, but that's not saying a lot. If you like a kind of muddy bass heavy sound, like if all you're listening to is MC Hammer, this is better than the Sony. But it does Bluetooth. And I would expect that in most situations, when you need a portable music player, in this day and age, we're in a situation where Bluetooth is the thing that you're going to use. Now, I've brought my Panasonic over to friends' houses. When new records have come out, I will typically buy on tape now because it's, $10, and it doesn't really matter what format you're going to play it on as long as it's moderately listenable. So I get it on tape, and then I steal it on the internet for the digital files. And when This Is Why came out, and when, what's this called, 21 seasons? 72 seasons. When 72 seasons came out, for example, I took this over to friends' houses, and we listened to them on the tape, and it was good. That was fine, and that's what I needed here. But I think most people wouldn't bother with the tape part. They would just, this is like something for a party, and then they go on Spotify or whatever, and then put on their horrible party playlist, and then you can listen to Richard Cheese singing that WAP song. Yeah, so I'm going to say basically, because of Bluetooth, this is the one you get. If you want to spend under $100 and have a portable CD, cassette, boombox, the Insignia.